like the decision to bring in Greg Casey back in, rather came on back in the first half of 2000?
Yeah.
What went into it, and what were your thoughts about that?
Just how good they are defensively, how extended their defense was and is, regularly. Didn't want to go into the half really struggling offensively. Looking at the stat sheet and having 26 points. So Kayvon's he's not a big foul trouble guy, and I didn't foresee him picking up that third. It's unfortunate for us. Obviously, we're much better with him in the game.
Coach, between the missed free throws in the first half and then not closing out the first half better, did you feel like maybe you kind of lost an opportunity there?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I thought they were terrific offensively in the second half. Got off to a great start. I thought Bacon got him going, just not necessarily in him scoring on every one of those possessions, but early second half, I thought he did a good job of getting the paint and breaking down our defense, and we were playing in scramble mode and maybe just a couple loose balls. It's been a common theme for us defensively in all three of our losses in the second half. It's just not the same. 49, 47, and 46 points in our three losses for whatever reason. But we've got to maintain that energy level, that intensity level, the communication level when we're away from our bench, because we can't afford to drop those levels against a team, against a guy like Dwayne Bacon. And he's not the only guy, of course, but he comes to mind first and foremost. I know Terrence Mann had a great game, and then so circling back to your question, we didn't take advantage. I thought potentially we could have gone into the half and played well enough, maybe to go up, to go in up 4 or 6 or what have you, if we convert from the foul line. Uncharacteristic turnovers as well. Took better care of it in the second half, but just defensively, it wasn't quite there for us. And then credit those guys, of course, and credit Dwayne down the stretch. A couple late clock shots, a couple contested jumpers that he's got the ability to make. He's a terrific player.
The offensive rebounding for them seemed to be probably, especially in the second half.
Yeah, how do you block out Ojo? Forgive me for pronunciations, but my goodness, a guy. Strong, tough, physical, long, big hands, and he throws his body around. He's something else. I thought that they set a tone early first half with him and a couple other guys in there with him fighting. We got a couple of those loose offensive rebounds early in the game. We got off to a bad start in that regard. If you protect your rim from the tip, in my opinion, most of the time you have a better chance to maintain that protection, that defensive rebounding protection.
With the schedule, so many just neutral, I guess no home games yet. Do you think that's contributed any to in terms of like just a grind and talk about giving up points in the second half? Is that more down the team?
No, I appreciate you trying to give us an excuse, but no, Florida State was better than us. We practice. Our guys have embraced practicing hard. They worked hard. We've shortened practices. We've given plenty of days off. It's more of a maturity, mentality, mental and physical toughness thing, in my opinion.
What made Bacon particularly so difficult for you guys to kind of contain in the second half?
When he walked on the court for warm-ups, he's really, really talented. I thought he broke down our defense again early second half, got into probably gained a little bit of confidence off the dribble, just making plays. Probably caught it in spots late second half where he was operating with a live bounce a little bit closer to the rim than we would have liked him to have been operating, because he's just got an ability, again, with a high release, with an ability to fade a little bit with that release, and his ability really just to jump over you as a defender. So we needed more ball pressure on him. A couple of his baskets, I want to say, before going back and looking at the film, were results of switches. And when you switch on a guy like that, we talk about switching high and not letting him get ahead of steam, whether it's to his left hand, to his right hand, or downhill. You've got to switch higher to guys like that.
This is 2 games in a row where John has faced bigger, longer front lines.
Which is hard to believe, I know. Yeah.
Which and he's kind of struggled a little bit finishing around the rim. Where is his confidence right now offensively, and how do you get him kind of going?
Well, John needs to understand it. He was close on unfortunately for him, on 3 or 4 plays where he's got an angle and that he's just got to come up with that ball, and maybe the pass can be a little bit better. And he would have had he was close, in my opinion, to having better looks. But you've got to credit their length and their discipline on the interior, their physicality, and then they've got an ability to throw 3 different guys at you.
A couple more?
Coach, you played a couple of top 25 teams now. Is Florida State a top 25 team?
That's hard for me to say. I think that in college basketball, you've probably got a handful there of 10 to 13 or 14, just off the top of my head, that you know, especially this early in the season, that you know are legit top 25 teams. And then I think you've probably got another 30, so all the way to about 40 to 50, where you've got a big pool of teams and programs like us, like Florida State, like Miami, that are all potentially good enough to be in the conversation. As we just finished talking about, it's not what we're ranked this week, what we were ranked last week. None of that matters. It's about learning from this game, it's about learning from the Duke game, it's about learning from the North Florida game, and I'm sure that Coach Hamilton's talking about the same type of things. Basketball season is such a long season, and obviously we really, really wanted this one, but it is a process, and it's a journey, and we've got to get better tomorrow.
Take one more?
Kevin, what was the key to Bill got off to a good start in the first half?
That's a compliment. You call me Kevin, I'll take it.
Sorry.
He wouldn't have got a check tonight. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Bill got off to a good start in the first half, and then it seemed this 15 points and then 6 points in the second.
Yeah.
Just what was the key to that?
I thought he had more touches. I thought they did a good job in their pressure, in their full court pressure, denying him the basketball, which sometimes it allowed other guys to get out in space, and we made some of those plays correctly. A couple times we made incorrect decisions, rush decisions. Again, credit Florida State's defense. In a perfect world for us, in press attack, ball's in Casey's hands, or Kayvon, Chris Chioza. But the rhythm that Casey was in the first half, I would have liked to have seen him have the ball in his hands more often. A couple of times out of timeouts, we would want to initiate a play with Casey at the point, and we couldn't get it to Casey. And then so, we're into just playing, or we're into our ball screen motion. So that was the biggest factor in my opinion.
All right.